Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to an empty driveway. You know what that means? Today is new project day. I'm expecting it any time now. He said about 9 o'clock, it's about 20 past 9 now, so literally any time now. So stay tuned, let's see what the new project is. Roll titles. So there it is. The new project has arrived. As yet is nameless. I will think about the name before the video goes live, and we'll come up with some sort of name. Nothing jumps out at me from the registration number, but we'll think of something. Time for a walk around. So let's show you the new project. Okay, so what we have here is surprise. We have a Fiat 500. We have a 64 plate. Pre-facelift, as I like to call them. So this is the one that was immediately before the facelift. So it's got the newer wheels on it. It's got the revised engine management system. So the engine ECU is the vertical one. It's got the nicer seats. It's got, what else has it got that's different? I can't think. Internally more than anything. Externally, obviously, apart from the wheels, externally is exactly the same. So let's have a look around, show you the damage. We'll come to the damage last, so we'll work our way around from this side. So as you can see, it's obviously, as always, filthy dirty. It is an X, so it's an insurance job. It was picked up from its accident on the 9th of the 11th, and it's come from Copart in Wisbeach, I believe it's pronounced. Runs and drives, 1 key. And it does run lovely. You probably saw in time lapse I had it running on the driveway. I haven't checked the oil and water yet. I don't normally do that, but as it was driving off of the transport, I thought I'd leave it running just to warm the engine up a little bit. But of course, it's only a matter of, I don't know what, 3 weeks ago that it's been at Copart. So yeah, it's a surprise that this is written off actually. Don't really understand why. You'll see in a minute if you haven't already seen. You may have seen when I drove it up the drive, but or down the drive, you might have noticed it, but I'll show you anyway. Let's get to it. So obviously, as you can see, the grille down there is pushed in. I thought that was a crack, and I thought that was a crack, but it's not. It's just a bit of twig. So this has ended up in a ditch by the looks of it. So apart from that, there's, well, no, we'll come on to the other side of the bumper in a minute. So looking at it, obviously we've got to clean it. That'll be the first job, to get it clean. It's got the new style wheels on, as I said. That one looks okay. It's got really nice tyres on it by the looks of it. Again, we'll inspect those properly once it's clean. There's no damage down this side whatsoever. Seal's all okay. They've actually left the aerial on for once. This wheel looks okay. Might have a little bit of peel on the lacquer there. Yeah, a little bit of peel on the lacquer there, I think. Again, we'll see that when it's clean. That's destroyed as usual. No surprise there, as they always are. A little bit of a scratch there. That will buff out easy. You can't even feel it, so I think that's a transfer. That's just dirt. So that's all good. Probably don't even need number plates on this one, to be fair. I don't think we got any service history. I didn't notice anything in the car when I was driving it. The bumper's all fine. That looks pretty new actually down there. That looks very silver. So I don't think that's very old. So that's probably been a new one. What we got here? A little bit of paint off there, tiny bit, nothing much. Again, most of that will buff out. It's very, very clean actually. Well, clean as in, you know, paintwork, not clean as in dirt. That wheel looks good. Virtually new tyres all round, as far as I can make out. That's all good as far as I can see. Underneath the dirt, we do have a little bit of a hickey down here. A little bit of a hickey. I might see if I can pull that out. It's more underneath than anything else. You can barely see it, but I will address that. Paul, the transporter guy, seems to think it was the loading of the car that did that, because I mean you couldn't see that in the pictures, but you can barely. I probably wouldn't have noticed it until I inspected it properly if Paul hadn't pointed it out. But he thinks it was done with a forklift, which quite possibly was. But we'll see. I don't know though. We'll have a look underneath, get a torch under there and have a look, because I don't know, it might be historic, but it's nothing much. It's nothing much. There might be a little bit of paint off there. Or is that? No, that's mud as well. It's mainly mud. Now, as you've so far as you've seen, apart from that little bit down there, there's nothing wrong with it. Till we get to here. Now this, as far as I know, so far, is the only damage. So going by the mud, it does look like it's ended up in a ditch or something. But because that's the only damage to the bumper, I think that this bumper will repair. And Paul said to me, I didn't realise, Paul by trade is a painter. Although he obviously does this transporting now, he is actually a painter, so that's his trade. And he said, have you ever repaired one like this? And I said, yeah, with a heat gun and then push it out. And he said to me, put a heater on it. He said, just leave it on it. And he said, and it may even just pop out on its own, or if it doesn't just pop out, you can gently push it. Now, it is a bit extreme pushed in, and obviously it will need some paint work, but I'm going to try that. So my intention was to throw this away, because as I say, I thought that those were cracks, and they're not. So the only damage to it, I mean, obviously it's broken the paintwork, there's a few cracks in the paint and what have you, so it will need a repair. But if I can get that out straight, then I can use this again on another project. And he actually said to me, if you don't do it, or you don't think it's good enough, he said, I'll have it, I'll buy it off you. He said, I'll repair it. So if I can't do it to what I would say would be satisfactory as far as I'm concerned, then I'll let him have it. I'll take the trim off of it and what have you, but I'll let him have it if he wants it, rather than throwing it away. So I'd keep it for him until next time he delivers a car for me. But that's it. That's the only damage. So let's have a look in the boot, see what we got. I'm hoping, you never know, we might find a service history lying around, but at present as it stands, nothing. No freebies. That's a bit off. Oh, look, that's interesting. Brake pad set box. I wonder if that means the brake pads have been done. Oh, there's the old brake pads on the back seat. So I think we can assume that the brake pads have been done. Oh, that's a bonus. Unless they've come out of another car and they look like Fiat 500 brake pads, I have to say. Why would you just chuck them on the back seat? Why would you do that? The shelf is present, which is always a bonus. Spare wheel? Yes, good, spare wheel. Actually, I'm sure I had already seen this in the pictures from Copart. Yeah, jack's there, toolkit's there, everything's there. Unused spare by the looks of it. So nothing much to write home about in there. Let's have a look passenger side. See what we got. Bottle of water. Lots of junk, lots of old air fresheners. The usual sort of stuff. Parking. Tickets, receipts. What have we got in here? What's this? Ah, that's a bonus as well. Your locking wheel nut. That's good. Bit of salt from McDonald's. Oh, what's that? Oh, either a bit of poo or a bit of mud. Has this got a liftable seat? They don't always have them on these pre-facelifts. Oh, nothing under there. It's a shame we haven't got a service history. Unless it is under all this stuff. What on earth is all this? Plastic bags, loads of cardboard. Bits of paper. I've been to Home Base and bought a sofa. Oh, what have we got here? Simple micellar cleansing water. That's nice, we'll keep that. I'll wrap it up and give it to my wife for Christmas. Oh dear. You think I'm joking? Oh, chilli bottle. I could wrap that. That's second hand, I can't really wrap that up. You got to laugh, haven't you? So, brake pads, let's have a look at what. Now, are these Fiat 500 brake pads? Ford KA Fiat 500, yeah. Blimey, they were low, weren't they? Jesus Christ. Let's hope the pads are alright, the discs are alright. We'll have a look at those other ones in a minute. A manky old cloth. Got a decent set of mats actually, by the looks of it. Certainly 3 of them are. Whether the driver's one's always the one that takes the punishment generally, so it might not be. Yeah, I think I'll probably replace it. I've got lots of odds, that's the trouble. Oh, what's this? Ice scraper. That might come in handy this year. These brake pads. Oh, God almighty, they are low. Wow. They are literally on the metal. So they would have destroyed the brake discs. That one's alright. They must have been sticking, I guess. Hang on, we seem to have 5. Oh no, what am I talking about? 2 each bit, innit? Yeah, they are literally on the metal. Look at that. Literally on the metal. That one's alright. Fancy putting them on the back seat. Who would do that? What a person. I'm not going to swear. This is a family channel. Seats are rotten as usual. I've got one of these people that likes to virtually lay down when they're driving. I do hate it when I see people doing that. Always a bit chavvy. What have we got in here? More receipts. More receipts, more receipts. Ooh, tissue of some sort. Nasty. Makeup brush. Oh, look at the state of that. Yeah, that's going. Get rid of that out of there. I'll get a bag out in a minute and get rid of all the rubbish. Right, let's just shut the door the other side because it's bloody cold today, and we'll jump in. Oh, I was going to look at the engine, weren't we? I'll pop the bonnet and then we'll look at the engine first, then we'll jump in and have a look at everything else. I'll just open the bonnet and we'll come back. Right, so it's quite clean actually. It is quite clean. Cam belt been done? No cam belt. Not going to do the cam belt. It doesn't really need 64 plate. I suppose in theory it might need doing, but it's quite low mileage, so yeah, I'm not going to bother with the cam belt. I say I did pay a premium for this because I was hoping and praying that it was going to be a quick turnover, which I still, touch wood, think it is. The clutch feels good, I have to say. That's actually even, look, it's not broken for once. Looks like it's even had a new bolt, new nut on there as well. The original battery possibly, but it seems to have lots of power in it. So, as I was saying, it's the pre-facelift facelift, so it's got the revised ECU, which is the vertical one rather than the horizontal one for the engine. That's still solid, so there's no tabs broken on that. It was obviously quite low down, wasn't it? So I reckon they've spun off the road or something and got into a ditch, and that's either hit a curb or something, but it doesn't appear to have touched the wheel. That wheel is perfectly straight, the gap is perfectly fine, exactly the same as the other one on the other side as far as I can see. Obviously I will get the wheel off and have a look, but as far as I can see it's all good. It hasn't gone as far as that. It may have done this bottom bar possibly, but I think it's probably missed it. I think it's just the way that the bumper's sitting. You can see the bottom bar there, and I can't see, oh actually it might be a little bit damaged, I can't see. I won't know until I get the bumper off. Obviously if that's the case I'll have to get a new one of those. I think it's probably missed it, because it probably wasn't actually a very hard hit. Obviously those bumpers will collapse like that with very little effort. But yeah, again, we won't know until we get it off, really. I know what we will do first. Let's check the oil and water. Just put you up on tripod and we come straight back. Right, so let's have a look at the coolant first. Yep, that's about halfway between minimum and maximum, so that's super fandango. Let's check the oil. Hopefully that's good as well. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Of course we don't know whether we're going to service this or not, because we haven't got service history, so we don't know when it was done. I can interrogate the body computer and have a look and see what that says. Yeah, it's very low, very low. It's just about registering, so that's going to need quite a bit of oil in there. So I think based on that, and let's have a look at the oil filter. It doesn't look that old, I have to say. There's no rust on it, it's relatively clean. So it's probably not that long ago that it was done. But there's not much oil. If you remember Project Glamorous Katie, that barely registered at all of oil, less than this has got in it. And that one's fine. And was serviced quite recently, so we could never really figure out why. Oh, that needs to, oh no. I don't know if that's a repair someone's made to that pipe. Looks like it's got some, oh no, it's a clamp that's on there for the cables, that's all. Right, let's, all good under here then. It's got the covers on the, ooh, a spider. It's got the covers on the top of the mounts, which are a little bit on the rusty side. Not too bad, but a little bit rusty. Whether they would buzz off if need be. There was a question on the MOT as to this may possibly need a shock that side. Possibly. But we will obviously investigate that once we get that wheel off and have a look. Let me just get rid of the torch. Right, let's get inside and have a look at the inside. Okay, right, so we're inside the car. State the obvious again, Paul. Right, so mileage, it's just gone off. 44,627 miles, so nice low mileage. Nice low mileage. I need to wind this seat up so I'm not laying down. My God, how people can drive like that, I do not know. Put the sunblind back, can't see any damage on the glass at all, which is always a worry with these. But you know, it all looks fine. Stereo, have we got a 3 CD? Please let's have a 3 CD. I love a 3 CD. You know that's my favourite thing. Let's try. No radio station, that's not a good sign. Radio 1. Okay, we'll do that off camera because obviously I don't want to pick up radio stations. CD. No. No. Oh, that's a shame. Is it doing aux? Why does it go to aux when I press the CD button? Shouldn't it go to CD? Maybe that only does that when you've got CD in. Something I've never come across. So turn that off. Right, so. Yeah, nothing to write home about. Really, just needs a clean. Just needs clean. Oh, we got that damn ABS light. Look, you see it down there? It's that bloody problem with the speedos again. Bloody thing, so annoying. It's such a common fault, this. So that means I've got to really, ideally I've got to change the speedo. And luckily I did buy one, didn't I? Whether it will be You know what though? Because this is 44,000. The one that I bought is 50-something thousand. Now I have been. Let me just turn camera around a second. So I have been looking at ways of adjusting the mileage down. As most of you probably know, multi-ECU scan. If you put a new speedo in that's got a lower mileage than your car, you can up it, but you can't reduce it for obvious reasons. But there is kit out there that, if you keep hearing my phone going, that's my upload to Instagram where I put the picture of the car saying just arrived, and there's people liking it, so excuse that noise. Where was I? Yeah, so I've been looking at various diagnostic stroke mileage correction tools. Now they are out there. Some of them are a little bit on the pricey side. There's one that I've seen which is only 200 quid. There's another one I've seen which is about 280 quid. But I think it's worth getting. Not only can I do it for other people, but it's something that, you know, when I buy a speedo, I have to find out what the mileage is, and I have to make sure I get one that's lower than the car. Otherwise, obviously it doesn't work. But if I can find something that I know does it, and they can guarantee that it does it, otherwise I'm wasting my money, then it doesn't matter what the mileage is on the speedos, because when speedos are higher mileage, people do tend to advertise them a little bit cheaper. Sometimes people, I think I've spoken about this before, but sometimes when people advertise them, they don't even mention the mileage on there. They obviously don't, for some bizarre reason, think it's an issue. And sometimes you'll ask them, they say, don't know. I guess if a car turns up dead with no power, they wouldn't be able to see. However, it would be easy just to go onto the MOT history and at least get an idea. They can say, you know, it was MOT'd 5 months ago and it was 45,000 at that point, so you know, you can sort of gauge a rough idea, and then maybe, you know, take a informed choice as to whether you buy it or not. So if I can find something for a decent price, get it, try it, and it works, I will obviously do a video on that and we'll let you know, because I think that will be a big bonus, and that will not save me particularly money. Not much money. I mean, as I say, I might be able to get a speedo a little bit cheaper, but in the long run, it might save me money. Certainly, it's expensive to get these repaired. This will be the second one I've got that is basically no good. And you know, what are you going to do with it? There's not much you can do with it, short of getting it repaired, and it's too expensive. It's pushing £200 to get them repaired. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. So I will look for another speedo. I do really need to change it. I don't really want to let this car go with it like this. I have got, as you know, I've got buyers sitting around waiting for cars, and I'm getting another car next week, which is a previous project. I'm getting it at the weekend. So my next in line buyer has got a choice between this one and that one. This one I've got no logbook. I'm going to have to send off, it's a Cat N, I'm going to have to send off a V62 today. And sometimes Cat Ns can take a bit longer than the normal sort of 2 weeks. So obviously I could sell it with a V62. The problem with that is sometimes if the car is still shown as registered in somebody's name, you can't tax it at the post office with a V62. I have taxed it at the post office with a V62, but if someone is still shown as being a registered owner, you can't do it, because the DVLA have to, I believe, they write to them to find out, you know, do you still have the car type thing. So, you know, as much as I could say to the person, look, I'll give you the £25, go to the post office, tax it, send the form off. They may come away and say, well, they wouldn't let me. If I sold it just and said to them, send the V62 off, until they get that logbook back, they can't tax it. And of course, I think, not sure, actually I need to check. I don't think the car is shown as taxed. I think the tax has run out. I believe. I'll have to double check that on .gov. Because my last car, Project Geddes, was shown tax. Even though I'd got the logbook, it was still taxed to the previous person. They never cancelled the tax out, so I never had to tax it, which was really good. That was obviously a glitch their end, the DVLA's end, but it suited me. I just didn't have to tax it. So ideally, I need to send a V62 off, wait for the logbook to come back, and then sell it. So it gives me time to find a speedo and get all these other bits and pieces done. In theory, it could take 3 weeks. Could take a bit longer. We don't really know. Anyway, just wanted to mention that to you. So yeah, mileage, as I say, 40 whatever it was. Everything is clean in here. Yeah, I really need to get it cleaned in here. The problem cleaning this time of the year, of course, is... oh, how much petrol we got? I didn't notice. Oh, we got a bit. Oh, you got half a tank of petrol, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. So I'm going to... Shall I put some oil in it? No, I'm going to leave it for the time being. There is oil in there, it's just very low. So I was just thinking, if I clean the seats, even if I clean these seats today, I could sit there with the engine running to try and help to dry it off. You know, once it heats up and you've got the heaters blowing, it will help to dry it off a bit, because they do take a bit of a time to dry properly. But yeah, that's a nuisance about that Speedo. But you know, this happens on these cars sometimes. It's sod's law that it happens on one that's going to be a quick turnaround. But never mind. So yeah, so we need to check these brakes. I think we can safely assume the brakes have been done. Why they've been thrown on the back seat, the old ones, I do not know. But yeah, we can safely assume the brakes have been done. Just trying to see if I can see discs, because if they've put new pads in and they haven't changed the discs, then obviously I'm going to have to change the pads and the discs, because the amount that these discs were worn, they would have buggered up the discs. So I think once we've cleaned it, I'll get these front wheels off and have a look. But that's it, I think. That's your walk around. So what do you think? What do you think? Got to come up with a name as well. As I say, I don't know what I'm going to call it, but I will find a name. I was thinking, when I was looking at the reg when I first got it, I was thinking Project Biff, BF. Big Friendly. BFG. Oh, look, I like it's BF64. This is going to be BFG, Big Friendly Giant. Yeah, that's the name. Project BFG. In brackets, Big Friendly Giant. Yeah, what do you reckon? Big Friendly Giant, I think that's, yeah, BFG. Love it. Anyway, that's it. That's your walk around. Cracking little car. I am going to get it clean now, and then I'm going to start work on it, basically. I'm going to get this bumper off and see if we need to get a new bottom beam, and then we'll get one ordered if need be. Yeah, great little car. What do you think? I forgot to tell you about how much it cost. Have I told you? I don't think I have. Right, so I paid more than this than I would normally pay. I paid more than I wanted to pay, but because of the lack of damage on it, I thought this is going to be a cracker. It's going to be a quick turnaround. I can sell this for $3,750 easy, all day long, all day long. Probably more, but you know, I like to sell them cheap. I like to help people out. I like to sell people nice cars for a good cheap price. So I paid, the hammer price for this was $1,850. It was a battle between me and one other person, I think, and I won it for $1,850, including fees. I can't remember the figure. I will put it up on the screen here. More than I wanted to. It's cost me £130 for delivery from Wisbeach, using Paul, and I know some of you have used him as well. And he actually said to me he was doing it for me for 130 instead of 150 because of the amount of people have put his way. So that's really helped me out. So thank you for taking my recommendations on him and using him. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Does it when he says he's going to do it. No messing around. Pretty quick normally, even though he's obviously, you know, quite busy. But yeah, I appreciated that from him. Knocking 20 quid off, so that's good. So yeah, £130 delivery. I've got a bumper. I didn't actually show you the bumper, but I've got a bumper. I haven't actually unpacked it yet, but it came yesterday. So I've got a bumper. I have bought a shock just in case I need to change it. I have actually got some discs, although they might be different, the discs on this one, because it's a pre-facelift. I'm not sure if they're the same or whether it changed on the facelift or not. We'll have to obviously check that if it needs them. Hopefully they've been done at the same time as the pads, hopefully. Or they don't need doing, one or the other, but I imagine they do. I'm waffling again. Anyway, so that's it. So I will put up, obviously we'll go into a little bit more detail on the figures in the next video, and we'll obviously show you the start of the repair. I don't envisage this being a long amount of, you know, a large amount of videos, because there's not a massive amount to do. Should hopefully still be a quick turnaround. So as I said, as always, if you're not a subscriber, please hit that button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, let us know what you think of the car, and until the next one, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.